Scope.
Well, it has been a stormy night in parts of the Northeast, but we think you're going to like what's in store for the holiday weekend. Good evening and welcome to WeatherScope. I'm Sharon Result.
I like what's in store for the holiday weekend. I'm working.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
We don't like to brag. We get to work on the weekend. How'd that work? I'm not sure how that happened. Well, some rough weather. Been kind of rumbling through parts of Arizona. Sharon's got details on that just a couple of moments. But first, I want you to see exactly what's happening in the eastern U.S. You're off to a wet start. And scattered showers in the Northeast, New England, yeah, you know, Salem, New Hampshire, southern part of the state, you had a wet morning drive. The trek to school had books and umbrellas, and maybe some more showers around there. You're going to deal with a little more wet weather coming down in the Northeast. And believe me when I tell you, it's still raining now in so many parts of the Northeast thanks to this front. Now, the front is the leading edge of something different. That's the best way to put it. Behind it, cooler and drier. That makes this a cold front this time around. Cool air back behind it. Ahead of the front, the air is slightly wetter, higher moisture content. This front slides in, lifts up yield moisture, and drops it here in the Northeast. Into parts of New Hampshire, still kind of north of Concord, you're getting wet weather. Into Maine, some storms firing tonight. New Hampshire, Vermont, and of course New York State. You've got storms back around Elmira, also kind of south of Albany. And toward the city, expect a little more wet weather. Now, the little goofy stuff, that little light green color kind of spoked out there, kind of like a spokes on a wheel or something, that's ground clutter, that's nothing. But right through here, this is the real thing. Those yellows and reds there north of Philly, moving into across Jersey, yeah, you've got a lot of storms still firing up here. A little closer look shows that's kind of moving on top of you there in Trenton. Fairly strong storms now into the city. Expect some wet weather out toward the island here shortly. Temps here not bad, 68 to Boston, 71 in the city, so not an oppressively hot night. Philly at 71, Pittsburgh 66, Detroit 67. Into the Southland, you got storms of your own. Lots of storms here across the Carolinas, and this kind of showery activity decreasing as the evening has gone on, even Florida. Getting a little quieter, a little drier air has been in place here. This area of low pressure bears some watching. Low pressure and a counterclockwise flow there. That is a non-tropical area of low pressure at the present time, but it is being monitored in case it could become something else off the coast of Carolina. You see it kind of lifting up there. We're keeping an eye on that. Could be a problem. Hey, temperatures, that's no problem. Not bad. 79 for Atlanta, 81 in Tampa, 81 in Miami. Good night around South Beach. Let's look to the west. With that, here's Sharon.
Well, you folks in the west have had some scattered thunderstorms, but for the most part, you had seasonably a warm day. You've had another hot day in Dallas, but what more would you expect in the big day this time of the year? Your temperature rose into the mid-90s, which is about average for the date. Overall, plenty of sunshine, and you can expect much of the same heading into the holiday weekend. Well, let's go ahead and we'll take a peek here, and you can see some of the temperatures in the southeast, and they'll be rivaled there by what's going on in the west. You'll find that out shortly. But what I wanted to show you here is a peek at our western precipitation, the monsoonal moisture around the Four Corners region, showers and thunderstorms just now bubbling up into central Montana, some of those strong, and also working on into right on into, let's see, parts of Minnesota. That's what I'm trying to get out. Here's a look at your cloud-to-ground lightning. And as you can see, many reports here on up into central Montana, still very active to the west of Tucson and in the higher elevations heading into the Rockies. Potential for some strong storms into Montana, western parts of Arizona. There's a look at the severe thunderstorm watch, and within this region, southwestern Judith Basin County and also northeastern Meagher County, we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. These are advancing swiftly off to the north and east. As we go into the southwestern part of the nation, we're going to find, well, the stronger storms kind of weakening a bit west of Tucson, but there is still some action there, folks. West of the region, you're still going to find the potential for some pretty heavy rain, so keep that in mind and watch out for the potential for flooding. There are flood watches in effect for much of south central and western Arizona. As we work our way on into Nebraska, these are some nasty cells pushing off to the south and east, and again into Hayes and Perkins County, we do have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. Hail with those thunderstorms and some pretty gusty winds. Showers and a few storms well to the east of Des Moines, and also there's a look again at some of the moisture heading now into central portions of Minnesota. Again, temperatures out west pretty warm, a lot warmer than what you saw there in the southeast. 88 in Phoenix, 98 right now in Las Vegas. 82 in L.A. Paul?
Well, the more they say the more things change, the more they stay the same. That's pretty consistent with our weather. Stay cool on the edges, northeast, northwest, the hot stuff in the middle. But one thing we all share across the country is a pretty dry pattern actually setting up. Now, Sharon will take us beyond the end of the work week here and across the holiday weekend. But we'll start off with a chance of some showers in northeast New York City, Boston in the morning. The drive-in could be affected by some rain. Got to bear that in mind. But it gets better by midday hours. It gets better. Well, it gets better there. It gets worse here. Stormy around St. Louis, traveling I-64, I-70 into work. Might not be as bad as maybe coming home. And there you've got the storminess to contend with. Even portions of Iowa, Minnesota, and eventually up around International Falls. Right along this frontal boundary, that's the focusing mechanism where all this moisture resides and the storminess pops up. Even Memphis and maybe portions of West Kentucky get some storms before the day is over. Between now and noon, we'll keep the monsoonal flow throughout the day tomorrow. Keep some showers here locally as much as 2 inches where some of those slow-moving cells are that Sharon just showed you. Also, half-inch to 1-inch amounts in this area where the severe thunderstorm watch is in effect. Also into the Dakotas, you'll deal with some more wet weather and showers to Iowa into Minnesota tonight. Kind of cool around the edges. I talked about that. Well, the northeast, you're going to have a cool night around Pittsburgh to Buffalo. A little warmer still along the coast for now. Flint, Michigan, cooler. Indianapolis, much, much nicer. Nice out here, too. Across the Southland, even temperatures aren't bad for getting out around Orlando or the Tampa area, even Atlanta. A little better night, a little drier air. Here we go. Not bad for the northeast, not bad in the northwest, but nice and hot in the middle. Where do we go from here? Take us there, Sharon.
Well, let's take it on into Saturday, and again, we'll continue to see a very gradual warm-up into the Great Lakes for the weekend, extending into parts of New England as well. Right on into your Sunday, some 70s and some 80s here. So New York and Boston up into the 80s, as well as around Providence and Hartford, Connecticut will be up into the 80s. 90s stretching across the middle of the nation and 100s into the desert Southwest. Most of what we find here is going to be very isolated as far as the shower activity is concerned. And so that means that most of you are probably going to be able to dodge the raindrops. Outdoor plants looking pretty good for most of the country. We don't see any big hefty systems moving across the region. So generally looking at showers and thunderstorms that may be fairly few and far between. Maybe a little more frequent on Labor Day across maybe northern Minnesota and central and southern portions of Florida. But elsewhere in the areas of lighter green, those thunderstorms once again we think will be a little bit more isolated. So that gives you an advanced look of what you might expect as we head on into the weekend. And Labor Day, actually, the whole weekend, not faring too bad for most folks.
Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds very, very good. Maybe you got some travel plans in town, maybe cross country. We'll check with us for the weather that you need to know.
Okay, the conditions for your trip are next on Travel Wise after your local forecast.
through the sky with the Moshalou restaurant in the foreground. We're getting reports right now of several fires sparked by lightning, and many people are seeing minor street flooding like here in Center City, Philadelphia. What happened? What's next? Here's Dave Rogers.
All right, Larry, it started with a boom of thunder, and then it seemed like the skies opened up. Some areas reporting as much as an inch of rain in about a half hour's time. As you mentioned, some localized flooding, especially up in the Abington area. Here in Center City, we picked up just a little over about a half inch of rain, and it's all associated with the cold front. As that front's starting to close down on southeastern Pennsylvania, that's when some of the heavier thunderstorms started to pop up. Now, as we check in with our storm tracker system, which, by the way, does a great job tracking storms, most of the heavy stuff east of the river right now, taking aim at places like Mercer County, Burlington County, and Ocean County. It'll all start to taper off over the next couple of hours. Now, keep in mind, the cold front is still off to our west. It's not expected to pass to our east until the early morning hours. I'll let you know if there's any additional rain on the way. All that coming up a bit later on. Lair?
Okay, thank you, Dave. Now, we want to tell you that News 3 crews are on the way to 2 fires reportedly sparked by lightning. One is at a famous location, the Mendenhall Inn in the Chadsford area. We're told that fire is now under control. The other is at a retirement home in Pocopson, Chester County, not far from Mendenhall. We'll bring you more information as soon as it becomes available to us. Well, this
Hobson Nursing Home on Lenape Road just before 10 o'clock. There are no reports of any injuries, but the building has been evacuated. In Burlington County...
Now the question is the weather going to cooperate, or are we going to have rain like we did tonight, John?
Tell you what, those beach tag inspectors are feared more than the dentist in many cases. People just automatically kind of nod off when they come by. Yeah, we got some rain heading down the shore right now, folks. I'll let you know when it's going to end, but let's check out our weather net first, and we'll take it a step at a time as we move into your holiday weekend. One of our weather net schools, Stone Harbor Elementary School down the shore. It's not raining there yet, but it will be in about 40 minutes. High today, 76, standing at 72 degrees right now. The official high at the airport today was 77. The normal high, 83. Record high, 99 degrees, set back in 1973. Get ready for the big finish. End of summer. Kind of sad. Temperatures in the 60s and the 70s, and yeah, we got a lot of rain heading down the shoreway. This is what we picked up over the past hour and a half as a line developed to the west, a line of heavy showers and thunderstorms. Doylestown, you picked up almost an inch. We won right here at NBC 10, an inch and a half. The city, almost an inch. The airport, almost an inch. And Northeast Philly, 0.56. Okay, radar, 8 o'clock. That line developed out near Reading. Get out of your way there. The bright red indicating the heavy thunderstorms. They kind of moved slowly to the south and east, about 25 miles per hour. Then over the city itself around 10 o'clock. The bright red indicating the heavy line now moving down the shore. There you are, down the shore, Atlantic City. You don't need any more rain, but you're going to get some very soon down Ocean City to Cape May. There is the line. It is sinking in this direction. Will arrive down the shore in about 40 minutes. And after that, it should move on out to sea. So in about 40 minutes down the shore, you're going to get some heavy rain and some big-time lightning. Days over the holiday weekend, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Those 3 days, great.
Forecast wants to see some exciting weather tonight. There's a look at the scene off the coast of Sakata, Japan. Not tornadoes, but water spouts. These are tornadoes over water, and they had several reports of water spouts today. Fortunately, no injuries. Pretty rarity in this part of the world. An unsettled weather pattern continues not only for Japan, but here in the greater Philadelphia region. As a matter of fact, some of that rain that we received this evening, they had to call off the Westchester-Villanova football game because of the numerous lightning strikes out there. And it was a good thing that they did. Very, very stormy weather. As we head across the Midwest of the country, a lot of that clear sky will eventually head east. Right now, some parts of the greater Philadelphia region still under the gun. The cold front, again, still off to our west and has triggered a few widely scattered thunderstorms. Again, some areas picking up as much as an inch of rain in about a half hour's time. And obviously, some of the poor drainage areas can expect some flooding. Stormy weather continues, mainly for places east of the river, New Jersey, down into some sections of Delaware. There's the cold front expected to cross to our east in the early morning hours. It's going to deliver some less humid conditions. So tomorrow's going to be kind of a transitional day for us. And high pressure right now centered over portions of lower Michigan. It's going to start to head east and provide us with some beautiful beautiful weather over the next several days. Here's a look at our regional radar picture, and you can see how some of those storms really just started to fire up. As I mentioned, most of the heavy activity shifting east into Jersey and Delaware. Still some lingering showers kind of left over, and we could have a few sprinkles in the early morning hours before things really start to stabilize for us. Joseph Herring in Fleetwood, only a few drops in the bucket there. He had 63 degrees. Perry Plymire down in Arden, Delaware, 70. Atlantic City right now at room temperature, 67 in Trenton, and a water temperature at 74. Here's the way we see things over the next 12 to 18 hours. Big storms.
Latest on those thunderstorms that rumble through our area tonight. Dave?
They sure did rumble, Lisa. Let me tell you, waiting for that frontal system to get through. It's through now, but in front of it, some cells of thunderstorm activity, and we finally got one. It finally caught up with the greater area. Take a look at action radar right now. This is the current scene. You can see it stretching down through Salem, Gloucester, Camden, and Burlington counties, arcing up toward Trenton. Folks down at the shore points probably be getting this in the next few hours, so hold on down there. We'll go a little wider on action radar. And there's the system. Now we'll set it in motion. You'll see how these cells develop. Doesn't look very impressive there, but then they get their act together and boom, they just move right over the area. A little to the north, a little to the south, and they're all together and they come through. If you've been outside, the 10 o'clock reading was 71 degrees. 11 o'clock, we're down to 65 degrees, a drop of some 6 degrees as the cooler air is coming in, less humid conditions, and things are going to get better. So we are in the process of clearing. That's the call as we head toward the Labor Day weekend. 61 in the Pocono, 68 in Reading, 63 in Allentown, Wilmington 69. Our low 64, the temperature did drop down to 64 degrees, and our high was 77. That came at 3:18 this afternoon. We're live on Sky 6 right now, and we'll show you the numbers. Still got a little light rain outside. Yes, we got our little wiper going, a little squeegee going there. Thank you. Clean everything off. Okay. 65 degrees at this hour. Humidity 93%. The barometer 2981. It's falling. I think we need to change the blades there. Northeasterly wind 6 miles an hour. The ocean water temperature 75 degrees. 65 in the northeast. Pair of 6s outside the station. 66 for Center City. 65 at the airport in Camden. 67. The exclusive AccuWeather 5-day forecast.
Very slow-moving cold front. There will even be more showers here in the northeast tomorrow, but not in all parts of the northeast, I'm happy to say. We're drying out here in western New York despite just a couple of showers that have developed. Western Pennsylvania, central Pennsylvania, I'll tell you, they're back in session at Penn State University, and what a night tonight, 65 degrees. Beautiful. Oh, there'll be a little fog in the morning. That doesn't give you license to stay away from class, my friend. Biology 101 will take place, fog or no fog, at Penn State. All right. I'll tell you, some of those Nittany Lions. All right. Well, we do have the front. There it is, lined up just to the west of Philadelphia. And there's the drier air in behind it. You felt it all day in Cleveland, huh? Oh, Pittsburgh, woo, once the fog burned off. Detroit, oh, please. I tell you, I'm cavelling over this wonderful weather.